The Women's World Cup is starting this weekend, folks. Who are the favorites? I think there's one pretty strong favorite, but we'll go through the favorites according to the bookmakers, convert their odds into percentages, and look through the 16 teams who is being given a chance. What kind of chances are they being given? And you guys can let us know your thoughts. You may notice on my whiteboard, I only have 4 teams up there. There's a reason for that, despite the fact that it is a 16-team tournament, and it is basically because, apart from the 4 teams on the board, the Black Ferns, apologies, that is an All Blacks magnet. I might have to make up a special Black Ferns one. I thought I did have one, but I'll make one up. England, France, and Canada. Everyone else is pretty much not being given any kind of chance. We're talking about less than 1%. So the likes of Brazil, they are the least favoured side. Samoa, Fiji, Spain, Japan, South Africa, Wales, USA, Italy, Scotland, Australia are all at less than 1% chance of winning the Women's World Cup. Ireland is at 1%. So it kind of fits in with the Rugby World Rankings. If you have seen the Women's Rugby World Rankings, you will see England is like far and away the most dominant side. They're on 97.76, which is a full 7+ points ahead of the next best side, which is very dominant. And then there's kind of 3 sides clustered in there. There's the Canadians at 90.13, the Black Ferns at 88.74, and then there's the French on 85.72. And then the next sides aren't even in the 80s. So the bookies numbers kind of reflect with the Rugby World Rankings in that there is one utterly dominant side, there are 3 competitive sides, and then there's the trailing pack. That's basically what the World Rankings tell us, and it's kind of reflected in the odds. So as I said, everyone else, the other 12 teams, not really being given much of a chance. These 4 sides, who were the 4 semi-finalists at the last Women's World Cup as well, are at least seen, well, there's one dominant one, and I guess the other 3 are kind of seen as, well, on their day, maybe they could do something. The bottom of these 4 sides is France, 5%. So yeah, not given a heck of a lot of a shot, which is maybe a little bit surprising given that in the Six Nations this year, they and the English, fought out a pretty closely fought and highly scoring match in that final game of the tournament, which decided the title. But 5% for the French, not being given a heck of a lot of chance, but as I said, that's 5 times better than the next best side. After France, it is actually number 2 ranked Canada. Canada is at 11%, paying, I don't know, $7 if you're looking at the bookmakers' odds. We're taking out their over round for this percentage conversion, but yeah, 11%. The Canadians, I mean, they've had some really ding-dong battles with the Black Ferns in recent times. It's just beating England, I guess, which is a difficult prospect for any of the teams at this World Cup. Then there is the reigning champion Black Ferns. I've got them in this order because it was 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th at the last tournament over here in New Zealand. The Black Ferns are seen as the best shot outside of the English side. They are at 22%. So still pretty big time underdogs, paying $3.50. But yeah, still far and away below England. England at home with their all-conquering record. They are largely predicted to kind of romp this one in. I don't know that there's ever been a side in any World Cup ever which is as strong favourites as this one. 56%, paying $1.35, at least over here in New Zealand. So more chance than every other team put together. But as I said, with their record the way it is, the fact that they are at home, I think they are pretty overwhelming favourites for good reason. I think the most professional of all the women's side. I've been a bit guilty of not tuning into as much women's rugby in recent times, but I'll be trying to watch as much of the Women's World Cup as I can, despite the time zones being pretty brutal for us. For those of us here in NZ, ticket sales seem to be going fantastically well. I think they've already pretty much doubled the World Cup, which was over here in New Zealand, and that is despite the fact that that World Cup was the kind of record ticket seller for Women's World Cup. So going very, very well. Hopefully English fans are getting behind their team because they are massive favourites. As long as they can handle the pressure, you would think they are a pretty good shout. But man, in sports, you never know. We've seen some pretty massive upsets recently in the men's game. So we'll see if anyone can do that in the women's. I should say these odds are from a Kiwi bookmaker, so there may be some slight variations from bookie to bookie, which have the English maybe even a slightly heavier favourites, but they all kind of tend to be within a few percent of each other. But that is the odds for the Women's World Cup. How do you guys reckon things are going to go? Who is your side, because England are obvious favourites, that you think has the best shot of tipping up England? Are there any other matchups that you are particularly looking forward to, maybe outside of these kind of top four sides? I apologize for putting them in as the rest, but as I said, we'd be getting into 0 point this and 0 point that for all of the other teams, basically. But yeah, you guys let us know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.